and welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome here to the Champions League round of 16 stage. It is finally here, the game that we have been waiting for and the game where we cannot afford any mistakes whatsoever. It's Barcelona heading to Lyon in the Champions League round of 16. Coming right up is the match preview. We have to do this. Today's video is coming to you courtesy of the OneFootball app, which you can find in the description down below, guys, if you do want to download it on what is a fantastic week of Champions League action. It is a great way of staying well in touch with everything going on, the scores, the lineups, and all the stats you need right there on the OneFootball app. And elsewhere, of course, this week, we have got some fantastic Champions League action on the same night as Lyon against Barcelona. Liverpool will take on Bayern Munich at Anfield in what should be a phenomenal European tie there. And on Wednesday, Juventus against Atletico Madrid heading to the Wanda Metropolitano to take on Simeone's Atletico. That should be there, a fantastic encounter. And Schalke are playing Man City also on that Wednesday. But of course, the focus here on Lyon against Barca, it is not going to be easy. We are going to have to raise our level. We are going to have to raise our intensity. This is where it all matters, where it all counts. We have to step up. And if we start first of all with our opponents Lyon, and I have to talk about them simply because these are no walkovers whatsoever, no pushovers. This will be a team that will arrive with a big occasion behind them and they will look to perform here in front of their own fans. They finished second in Group F behind Manchester City, and by the way, they finished second to Man City, but they remained unbeaten against the champions of England over their two meetings. Very, very impressive against Man City they were. They actually beat Man City at the Etihad in the first game week of that Champions League group stage this season, 2-1. It was a phenomenal victory, Lyon doing incredibly well on that day, Cornet and Fekir scoring the goals, and they also held Man City at their home stadium by 2 goals each on that occasion. That was a very, very good performance as well. And like I say, remaining unbeaten there against Man City is no mean feat and shows exactly what Lyon is capable of. In the domestic league, in Liga 1, they're currently third, 16 points behind Paris Saint-Germain, so nowhere near the top, to be perfectly honest, but they are in very fine form indeed. And they've actually won 6 out of the last 7 games in all competitions. Winning games gives you big confidence, and Lyon coming into this one, they won on Friday by 2-1. They are ready to come into this and put in a big performance. And of course, during those last 6 wins in those last 7 games, that included a stunning 2-1 win over PSG themselves, becoming in the process the only team to beat them in over a year. So Lyon certainly have pedigree, there's no doubt about that. When it comes to the big game, when it comes to the big occasion, I feel like Lyon are the kind of team that raise their level, that find their optimum performance. The players out there, they've got very quality players, we're going to come on to that in a moment, but I just feel like the mentality at Lyon is sometimes they can have slip-ups, sometimes they can certainly show inconsistency, as they have in the league this season, but when it comes down to those big games against Man City, against PSG, they really stepped up. That is what we have to be wary of tomorrow, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime game for them, coming up against Barcelona in the Champions League. They are going to be eager here to prove a point, really put down a marker, and they're going to be fired up to take us on here, and we have to be ready. One major disappointment for them, though, is no doubt at all the suspension of their key player, undoubtedly, which is Nabil Fekir. He's been in brilliant form once again this season. He's a very consistent performer. He scored an absolute rocket on Friday in that win that they did have, and it was a very, very good goal, and it's certainly something that we've seen time and time again from Fekir, who's of course wanted by many of the big clubs right around Europe. He is, though, suspended for this game and won't play any part in the first leg. He will be back with the second, though, but you felt like they really needed him here in that first leg coming at home. But aside from Fekir, they've certainly got quality right throughout their team. You look at their midfield there, Ndombele is an absolutely phenomenal player, really, really good. He's going to get a move really shortly to a massive club, no doubt about that. He is a bit of an injury down for this one, but I do expect him to play, and certainly if he does play tomorrow, we are all going to be seeing why he is one of the most touted midfield players, certainly young midfield players rising on the scene right now. He is quality, no doubt about that. Also Mendy at left back, we've been linked with him as a replacement perhaps in the future for Jordi Alba. He's a great talent. Anthony Lopez in goal, he's a very, very good goalkeeper. And you look right throughout their team, they've got quality, they've got players who can step up. You look at their forward options, the likes of Moussa Dembele, coming from Celtic, done really well this season, adapted to Lyon. You've got Cornet, who's scored some big goals this season, Traore, Depay. They've got a lot of forward options there, and not only forward options, there's a lot of pace there, a lot of pace, a lot of energy, teams that can hurt you, certainly on the counter-attack, and again, that's something certainly that we have to be wary of. But at the end of the day, it's not all about Lyon. There's 2 teams here, we've got to come into this game, we've got to respect Lyon, we've got to understand what they can do, but at the end of the day, we are Barcelona, we would expect to win this game, we would would expect to go through over 2 legs, no doubt about that. But to do that, we have to turn up as Barcelona. The last few weeks have not been Barcelona in my bit. We're on really poor form, in my opinion. 3 draws in our last 4 games, only 2 goals scored in our last 3 games. That does not sound like a Barcelona team, and what we need here is a reaction. What we need here is a drastic change, not only in performance, but in terms of mentality. And there's 2 things that we could see here. There's 2 sides of the coin, and this is what could happen. Number 1, and what I really hope does happen, is we see a complete change. We see a response. We see all that anger, all that frustration that we saw against Valladolid. Messi in particular was so angry. He was really, really frustrated in that game. We see that kind of reaction all put into this game. A lot of fire, a lot of heart, a lot of intensity, all into this game, and we see a turnaround. We see Barcelona. We see what we desperately want to see in the Champions League. This is what we want. This is the trophy that we're really gunning for. So let's go out there and let's try and win it, and let's put down a statement. Teams have done that already in the Champions League. PSG went to United. They put in a brilliant away performance. You look at that kind of game, that kind of display. That's what we've got to do. Go to Lyon, win the game, put down a marker, and say we are here. We are ready to win this tournament. Or, number 2, the other side of the coin, which I really, really hope we don't see, and that's that we take Lyon lightly. That is something that we cannot afford to do. And the reason that I say that is, a lot of the time this season, we've been going through the motions. You look at it on the weekend against Valladolid, it was exactly the same story. We sort of expected to turn up and win. We sort of expected to go out there and sort of not really put in the effort, but still come out with the 3 points, still score goals. It doesn't work that way. You look at Suarez, who came on at the weekend. He had those chances in front of goal. There's a lack of concentration there. Any centre forward in the world of football at professional level puts those chances away. The only reason he didn't was lack of focus, lack of concentration. If we don't turn up against Lyon with the right attitude, and that comes from the coach, Valverde has got to get these players and they've got to say, look, this is the kind of game that you wait all season for. These are your moments to go out there and show you guys that you can win this tournament. You've got to get a hold of them. You've got to really motivate them here to go out there and show their true selves. Are the players too happy? Are they too comfortable? Are they too sort of familiar in their ways this season of just sitting back, waiting for things to happen? They know they're good players. They know they're world-class players, but you've still got to put that work in. You still have to arrive in these games, have the mentality to go out there and win them. Win them and win them well, showing your quality. We can do this. No doubt about this. We have the players, we have the quality to not only win this game, but win the Champions League. But to do that, we have to see the real Barcelona on Tuesday, under the lights, in a big, big occasion. Will we turn up? I'm really, really hoping so. But if we now move on to the important thing, the lineups, that is where this game is going to be won and lost. Is Valverde going to really set up the right team in the right way to go and win this game? And I'm going to say, look, this is the team that I would personally play against Lyon. Umtiti in the squad. Is he ready, though, to jump straight back in a big game like this? He hasn't played now for several months. I'm not sure this is the game to throw him back in, especially with the risk of that relapse if he is in too quickly and in too intense game. I would here go with Ter Stegen, Alba, Longley, Piqué, Semedo at right back. That's very, very important to match the pace, match the athleticism of Lyon down that left-hand side through the likes of Mendy, who's going to be overlapping. You need Semedo to be able to deal with that. Busquets, Rakitic, and yes, surprise inclusion here of Carlos Lenya, simply because he's ready for it. There were 2 players against Valladolid that played well for me. The only 2 players on the entire pitch. It was Gerard Piqué and it was Carlos Lenya. He was very, very good in that midfield. We know that Rakitic, Vidal, Busquets does not work. Valverde doesn't seem to want to play Coutinho in midfield. For that reason, Alenya plays, and I do believe that in this kind of game, he wouldn't feel that pressure. He doesn't seem to feel pressure, and I think he could perform in this kind of game. Dembele from the left, Suarez down the middle. I badly hope that Suarez could get an away goal in the Champions League. He desperately needs it, with Messi from the right-hand side. That team for me there could take care of Lyon. With the right approach, with the right structure, this team here has a good balance, a good defence there, very solid. The midfield there has different ingredients, different blends of players there to make it tick. And the attack, of course, you know that on that day, Messi, Dembele, Suarez, they can make it happen. This team could take care of Lyon. However, I can't help feel like Ernesto Valverde is actually going to go with this lineup here. He's going to go with something very, very similar, but with 2 big differences. I think personally, he's going to revert back to Sergio Roberto at right back. That seems to be the safe option for Valverde. That seems to be what he does. He played on the weekend. I think he's going to play here as well. and Arturo Vidal alongside Rakitic in midfield. I think Valverde here might again go safe in midfield with what he knows, with the players that he feels that are experienced in this competition. Busquets, Rakitic, Vidal, yes, they're all very experienced. Yes, they can be solid. But at the end of the day, is that going to cut Lyon apart? Is that really going to get things flowing through midfield? I'm not sure that it is, and I'm not sure that would be the right team. We're going to have to wait and see what Valverde does. I would much rather go with the first option, but let's wait and see. Let me know down below, which do you prefer and why? But look guys, I'm never going to go into a Champions League game and really doubt us and be down and be negative. I am not going to give you here a negative score prediction. What I am going to say is Barcelona are going to do this. We are going to win this game. I'm going to go with Barcelona 2, Lyon 1. It's not going to be easy, not by any stretch of the imagination. We need to show up, and I desperately hope that we can. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. I will see you soon, of course, with reaction from this big one. But until then, as always, Visca El Barça!